Now, I know I'm not the perfect father. I try to do the best that I can, but I've come to terms with that too. I mean, I don't play Barbie as often as she'd like, and sometimes after a long day at work, it's hard for her to understand that Daddy just wants to sit down and rest for a while. But we do talk, and we play the occasional board game. She is a girl, though, and she's definitely caught me off guard quite a few times in the past few years. We only do her hair in braids maybe once a year, and the rest of the time, well, actually, we watch football together. So I'm not all too sure if I'm doing okay with what it's like to be a girl with her, but I try. And if it's sporadic, well, I just hope it's not completely skewed when she gets older. According to family psychologist Dr. James Adriatis, society has a hard time with single dads, especially single fathers who raise their daughters. As Adriatis documents, support groups for single dads are scarce, and other parents are reluctant to let their kids go over for playdates unless they are present. It is also much harder for single dads to get state and federal assistance. Additionally, even when fathers have shown proficiency in raising their children, they get barely any credit. Through the Prose, My Daughter and I by James Collins, the poetry My Fears by Steve Mayer, and blog posts by anonymous single dads on Single Dads Speak Out, we explore the struggles of being a single father to a daughter. This way we make visible a subculture that is often denied of empathy or acknowledgement. Single fathers need credit too, a program. Great moments. When my baby girl is teaching her daddy the art of a push-up. When she is the ballerina and I am her biggest fan. One time I took her to a Justin Bieber concert and screamed along with her, "I love you, Bieber!" Now it's One Direction she's crazy about, but I don't pretend to understand why. Dad, why do trees have so many leaves? Why is the sky blue? How do planes stay in the air? Why is air invisible? What was the first word ever spoken? Where does outer space begin? Dad, since your eyes are blue, does that mean you see everything in blue? You see, my daughter is much more outgoing than I've ever been. So I hope that her friends help fill in the gaps when it comes to the makeup and hair things. But I can't deny the more private aspects of a young girl's life. And it seems I might be a little intimidated at times. Aw, she's crying. It looks like she wants her mommy. Babies don't cry because they want their mom. They cry because they want to be comforted, fed, or even changed. And a dad can do those things too. Things I want to tell my daughter one day. Sweetheart, pretty is as pretty does. When someone tells you who they are, believe them the very first time. Don't blend in. Blend out. Watch how a man treats his mother. He'll likely treat you the same. And when God made you, he didn't make any mistakes. You are perfect just the way you are. Not so great moments. More than once was I pulled over by cops because I carried a 2-year-old throwing a temper tantrum into a car. While I appreciate the diligence of the cops and the callers, it became very annoying after a while. Oh, a random single man sitting on a park bench watching kids play will get the cops called. And when I'm at the airport, I'll get the, "Where's the mother? The mother's consent form." Well, I'm a single father. Wait here. A couple hours later, he'll come back with the, "Sorry you missed your flight, sir. You can pass on through." Aw, Dad must be babysitting today, huh? How cute. Please, for the love of all things holy, stop referring to dads as babysitters. You cannot babysit your own children. We're fathers, not paid caretakers. You wouldn't see a mom at the store with her kids and say, "Oh, it looks like mommy's babysitting today." I think it can be tough being a single dad to a girl because we aren't raised to nurture or be empathetic. In fact, Western society does its best through a culture of shaming, bullying, cross images of masculinity, and dismal media portrayals of fathers to show that we're just not going to be successful parents. It looks like Daddy dressed you today, huh? How adorable. I'll admit that I don't have what most people call fashion sense. I think that purple and orange are complementary colors, and stripes and plaids go together just fine. But I dress her every day, not just today. I know from my own experience with my daughter that I had no problem at all being the white knight to ride in on my charger to rescue her. It was hard for me to learn to let my daughter struggle with some of life's problems and challenges. They say if you overprotect, she'll either rebel or become dependent, and neither of those outcomes are positive. So allow some limited risks and she will build confidence as she succeeds. Dad, how is electricity made? What are black holes? How do birds fly? Why does cutting onions make you cry? Where does the wind come from? Why is the sea salty? Dad, why are you buying beer? Do you know how much candy we could buy with all that money? At the store in front of the line one day, my daughter farted really loudly. I turned to her and said, "What do you say?" She rolled her eyes and said, "Thank you." There are times I actually sit here and think about what it is that's missing for her. Dance class, fingernail polish, watching mommy put makeup on in the mirror, and maybe a less critical shoulder to lean on once in a while. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not overly strict, but when it came to the minor wounds, I usually tried to tell her to be tough, rub some dirt on it, and walk it out. Not a particularly womanly reaction, I know, but she's a lot tougher for it. Believe me, this girl had both of her pinky nails literally ripped off her fingers at 2 separate times, and she took it easier than I did. I want to tell her, don't hesitate to knee a man in the sack if he comes into your personal space and you feel threatened. Love yourself even more than he does. The internet can harm you just as much as it can help you. Learn how to change a tire and jump a car. Never seriously date a man you couldn't marry. Some days, life will just suck. Just know that it gets better with time. And ladies only fight to protect themselves. Not so great moments. Meeting her boyfriend for the first time. When she suddenly busts out a dance move straight from a Vegas nightclub. The first time she had her period. Now, she comes in the room screaming that she's bleeding, right? I'm freaking out because I think she's been stabbed or shot. She's freaking out because I'm freaking out. I'm on the phone with 911. Let's just say it was a mess. When I'm out with my daughter and she starts whining and throwing a fit, it can get ugly. But what makes it even uglier are the people who come up with a condescending smile on their face and say, "Oh, don't worry, mommy will be back soon." What? Are you fucking kidding me? First of all, kids throw tantrums no matter which parent is there. And in our case, mommy isn't. Whether you're divorced, separated, or a single dad, widowed dad, the challenges are all very similar. Here's a piece of advice from those who have walked in your shoes. Don't go it alone. Most of the other dads I talked to spoke of the importance of a female role model in the lives of their daughters. For some, this could be a grandmother, aunt, or other family member. For others, it was the mom of a friend the daughter's age. For the rest, it could be a youth leader, Girl Scout leader, or even an athletic coach. But finding a strong and capable female role model is critical to your daughter's success in growing up. And helping your daughter connect to this role model is a step that you need to take. Dad, what happens when we die? What is a prime number? Is God real? What makes thunder? Why do you blink? Where do babies come from? What is time? Where does water come from? Why do you have beards on your chest? What part of a chicken is a chicken nugget? Dad, I wish I was a dog. Why is that, honey? So I could see what my nuts taste like? Not so great moments. Doing laundry and finding the latest underwear she bought from Victoria's Secret. Dealing with the emotional battle with, as she says, the bitches at her school. Gossiping about the scandals among the cheerleaders and football players. And when I take extra time to do my daughter's hair just right, only to have someone comment, "Your mother did a great job with your hair." I want to tell her know how to make a fist and throw a punch. Fairy tales only come true if you go and get it. Bad boys are fun, but there ain't no changing them. And a man will sail to the end of the earth to get you if he really wants you. Don't ever hit a man and not expect to get hit back. You can be pretty, but being intelligent makes you prettier. Your body is your temple. You don't have to do anything for anyone to love you. Just be yourself. And you can do anything that a man does. Great moments. When she was my baking partner. When we were ballroom dance partners. When she was my Valentine every Valentine. When we went on dates. When she says, "I love you, Daddy," I wouldn't for 1 second trade it for anything. Watching her grow up, seeing her learn things, all of that makes for a life that I wouldn't trade for anything in the world. Ever.